Happy Monday. Welcome back. Hope you've been enjoying the vlog series. We're going to try to structure a little bit better. It's been a little sporadic with where we're kind of going without the week. So less of just day in the life type stuff and having myself kind of focus around the week at hand and trying to put a theme to that week. So that way it's better functionality wise for you. Now, what I mean by functionality wise, so this week's primary focus is going to have a goal and it's going to have some action items by the goal. So I want to relate it in terms of either my business Party Media or in terms of my business Mulligan Mike. And most of the time it'll probably be a little bit of both. So this week is going to be about closing $1,000 worth of sales. That's going to be a primary focus. Not this girl, unfortunately. Now, why $1,000? Like, is there a purpose for that? Or are you $1,000 from something? No, 1,000 just seems like a good goal. So that's what I'm going to do is 1,000. It seems like a realistic goal and it seems like it's something that you can push towards, but it should be something that you want to do. So for a perfect example, if you could close $1,000 every single week, that is $52,000 that you'd have at the end. Obviously, we want to close more than that, but 1,000 is just that stepping stone that gets you moving in the right direction. How I'm going to focus on that is going to be in-person meetings and on the phone. So we have a referral that got pushed our way and we need to touch base with them. That one definitely will not close this week just because it's a bigger client, but it's having those conversations. So we're going to do that referral. We are shooting some content next week at a gym for an individual. So we're reaching out to the gym to see if there's anything additional that we can shoot for them. We also have another meeting with a potential client talking about an event that we're going to have or that they're going to have in October. So trying to finalize that event and then also trying to upsell the opportunity to do pre-video for the event to make sure that it's pushed to more people outside of just event coverage. We also have another one with a softball coach who puts on clinics, puts on different camps. So trying to get on their radar for the camps or trying to film some pre-type stuff for her that she can do. And then lastly, I have this long list of people to follow up with or just to reach out to try to see if I can partner with them on different video things. So it's going to be, can conversations convert into money? So I'll kind of give you tips and tricks on like what I like to do during those that hopefully will help you elevate when you are reaching out to people asking them for their hard-earned money in trade of your service. Got back from golfing this morning and I think the round went great. So it was a lot of conversation and what she does, the guest on there with Mulligan Mike, she is a public speaker. She's a business coach. She runs a nonprofit. So she has three main drivers that she really focuses on. For public speaking, she's a high-end public speaker. She's somebody that charges $5,000, $10,000 and up for public speech. You might be thinking that's not that impressive, but that's $5,000 that she is getting for her services that then she would want to grow them additional ways. So maybe a market, maybe a clientele. So you want to reach out to people that are making money. Business coaching. If she has businesses that she is working on to elevate them, one way that businesses get elevated is video. See where I'm going with that one? And the last one's a nonprofit. Nonprofit does a lot of events to raise money. They do different funding and they typically have access to higher up individuals through the work that they're doing because higher up individuals are typically the ones that are donating and giving back their time and their money to these nonprofits to make a bigger impact. So she's going to have more connections typically than the regular person would have. She has two businesses that could very well utilize my service. And then those two businesses also work well with those others. So we got to talk a little bit about it during the round, not much, just because I don't want the focus to be on selling. I want the focus to be on them and their Mulligan Mike episode. So I'm going to send her a little message now that's just basically going to say, hey, thank you for coming on. It was really great. I'd love to set up some time to talk maybe about video for your events or video for your coaching clients. Would that be interesting to you? If so, what time kind of works? Day two. So day one, we got a little distracted. There's an issue with my office that it just felt a little clustered. My desk used to face this way, so I was kind of blocked over here in the corner. All of my gear was kind of sitting over here, so it just felt clustered. I don't know if you ever try to do anything where you feel clustered, but it typically does not work. So I think for me to be able to do something like I'm trying to do now, I have to make sure that the environment matches the result that I'm looking for. So I took the time to kind of move everything around. Also, my desk has some sharp corners on it. My kids are about that height that they hit them. So I saw another issue there that I didn't want to worry about. And then it faces a wall versus facing a window. So why do I think that's important? Limiting distractions is essentially what it comes down to. So when I'm looking at my computer and I'm doing this work, I don't really have any distractions. I'm not looking outside because people drive by all the time, people walk all the time. So I'm not getting distracted by that. So I'm hoping this is going to be a better result for me. And then I have 2 monitors set up that I think is going to be good. So let me just show you what I'm talking about here. All right, so I got all my gear here in this area. It's going to be nice and tucked away. And then I got my laptop. I like using the laptop when I color grade to do this kind of a setup, just because the laptop has more true color to it versus this monitor. I haven't figured out a way to color calibrate it to match the two, but there's a noticeable difference in particularly with the red tints. So less red on here is more red over there, but this monitor is more natural to everything else you're gonna see. So it's good to be able to tone that in, because some of my footage just comes off as really red, especially with my face. So trying to make sure that the color is more accurate. So trying this setup for this. Then I have my motivation wall here. And in particular with this motivation wall, I put up this saying here, which leads to the other issue that I have. Sometimes I feel like I just get too stagnant in the way and think, I don't really have to do it. Financially, we're in a good spot. My family's healthy. We're happy. We're in a good spot where you can just be comfortable versus being a good spot that you have to be hungry, you have to grow. But it wasn't until my son last night was asking for its monster truck, and it's just not in the budget. So I thought, what would be a world where budget doesn't actually matter? That was kind of my motivation. That's why I wrote the sign. It says, is this pain not worth doing for your wife and kids? Build the life they deserve to have now. So I think it's important for a lot of people who are trying to build for the future, but why can't we build for now? I think there's a big misconception that a lot of us have, is just like, we have to build for the future. We have to make all these sacrifices, but it's just like, why can't we do both? I have 24 hours in a day. My kids sleep for roughly 12 hours in the day. So I have an additional 12 hours that I can do this. And my wife goes to work. She's gone for roughly 10 hours a day. So it's just like, why not? Maybe it's for a lot of you creative people, or maybe it's a lot for business owners, but you build something that is so special and unique to you that it really hurts and it feels like pain when you get rejected by somebody or they just don't find value in it. I know the cliche is just like, you got to find the people that find value in yours, but being told over and over and over again no, sometimes it just doesn't feel good. So it's hard to get past that. So I think when I have to get past that, I have to come up with my external why. And I think coming up with the pain, as I would call it, the pain of being told no, the pain of feeling awkward on the phone, the pain of doing these sales calls, the pain of looking awkward or sounding ridiculous or whatever it is. It's kind of like talking on these videos. It's the pain of showing your face on a video and showing your voice and all this stuff to help promote or help to grow you, or just like the awkwardness on there. It's all just that pain. But is that pain more important than your why, or is their why more important than your pain? What a week so far. So Monday, super productive day. Let me pull it up here. All right, so we got Monday, super productive day. We had the Mulligan mic with the public speaker. We reached out to her, and we're going to be having another meeting because she wants to do some reels for some of her other speeches, because a lot of people have asked for them, but she just never feels like she has the time to create them. So great, got a sales opportunity there. We had another call with a client, ended up booking 3 videos. So we got that one closed. It's just $1,500 for those 3 videos. Super simple, different ones for those, for $500 each. Looking to build a bigger relationship with that one. So we talked about what we could all do. And I think in that situation, I got the job because I gave exactly what the video is going to come up with, and I gave reasons why. So I truly take somebody along and teach them in the opportunity. Yesterday, so today's Thursday. So yesterday we met with another person who has an event coming up. We ended up pitching them on the spot for the event. They guaranteed the coverage, and then we have some additional add-ons, so depending on their fundraising needs. We met with another person that wants to hire us for a softball camp. That one's really promising. So we talked about education on how to get more sponsors, how to talk to a sponsor, how to react to different questions that they come up with. Because I think it's a good thing to bring somebody along in business. If you have the experience and the knowledge on how to do it, share with people. Let other people win too. So that's a great opportunity. So that one looking anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000, depending on how many days. Then we had our group meeting today for networking, which led into getting another one-on-one with one of the people in there that wants to do more video, be active on social media. So I'm either going to be creating the video for him or teaching him how to use video. Or another idea that I had is actually teach him how to film something. So it's an idea that I've been playing around in my head is people that just want to do short videos on social media. They're not typically a higher cost for me, but teaching them how to actually shoot it, film it, edit it, very short reels, just educational content that they just want to be active on there that just showcases their business or anything. But it's a way for me to use my affiliate links, use my expertise, and then to build a relationship with that business. So when they do have bigger things like testimonials or any of those other stuff, the brand videos that they want to do, they know who to go to. So that's my goal there. So we're going to set up that meeting hopefully for tomorrow, if not early next week. We just had a meeting with our nonprofit. It's going to connect us with a couple of people for Mulligan Mike. So that meeting went great. And now we have another meeting in 19 minutes. It's about a 2-3 minute walk down there. So I got to grab some lunch, but that means it's going to be really good. He's a coach, like a mindset coach for youth. And then tomorrow we'll have one more sales meeting. So hopefully that one goes good and we can close. But right now we're looking at roughly for the week in terms of these meetings at about 3 to, I guess high end would probably be 6,000 and plus whatever this meeting goes tomorrow. And then if the meeting takes today. Just got back from my run from the gym and we got this lovely box. So what it is, it's the Apple AirPod 3s. I think having good audio when you're using your phone to record stuff, very important. But then also having good audio when you're on the phone with people. I chose these over the 4s just because they had a couple other functionalities. The biggest selling point is it does 8 hours of battery life on these, so I can work the entire day with these in, versus I think the other one's like 5 hours, so it's a little bit harder to do that. So I got these. I think it's really important. I'm gonna tell you about my last meeting that I had. Went really good, and it was one of those meetings that you listen to them talk and you realize this is not my typical service that I would sell you, but you do have a need for video. It's just not something that I would operate. So I think there's 2 ways to basically go about that. Well, probably 3. 3 if you're bad. Bad way is just be like, yeah, great, move on with life. Like that's perfectly acceptable, but I feel like you should do something more to provide that person some value. The second way is referring them to somebody else. So referring them to somebody that does what they're looking for, or trying to reach out and be like, hey, have you searched this for that problem? Wow, these are really tough to take off. It's like a reinforced little plastic thing there, but the little sticky parts on this are kind of tough. I don't have any fingernails. So you can refer them. And then last, if you have time and if you have the capabilities to do this, if one person is talking to you about this as a need and an interest for their business, it might be a need and an interest for other businesses. Look nice. See if it actually picks up on it. Yeah, look nice. But it means that they're going to have a need and a want for it as another business might. So it might be a service that you never thought of, but I think it's important here is to listen to what your clients or potential clients are telling you to make sure that your audience is aligned with the product that you offer. Officially done with the week, or at least weekday. Have some stuff that falls into the weekend, unfortunately. Got to edit a vlog. I have to do some editing and some videos to come, and then got to do all of my planning for next week, which I think is really important for everybody to do, is to plan your next week so you kind of have an idea what's going on, and you can plan those times that you actually have to do other things outside of just like your meetings or your shoots. Meeting today though, I wanted to talk about it. So meeting today was with a movie company and they're looking at doing a couple things. It went really, really good. I have a follow-up meeting with them next week, which should be pretty good. I think we should be able to close, but at the end of that meeting is the important part here. So I'm making it a purpose to ask them after we have a meeting or after I've done work with somebody, somebody, hey, based on what you know I do, is there another business or another person that you think would benefit from what I do? And if they can think of anybody, like she had thought of somebody and she's like, oh, I'll reach out to them. Like, would you be willing to give me a personal introduction, whether that's a group text message or a group Facebook message or whatever it is? Can you give me a personal introduction? Having that personal introduction and the connection, it's the whole word of mouth stuff. That is so important. But the most important part here is you have to ask for it. And that is how you start to grow your business. You're asking for it. You're putting the ideas in people's head. You're getting out there and you're showcasing your product, your brand, your personality, and coming at a point from value, not from sales, not from hunger, but it's coming from a point of value that you're giving that other person or that business. That's going to be it for this week's blog. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for next week.